need it the most. I want to introduce you to a gentleman that I met 13 years ago. You were just a small child.
I was just a boy. Good morning, Dan.
This is Alan Cushman. People are going to look at him and they go, oh, Florida oranges. These are not oranges.
No.
These are not grapefruits. These are not tangerines.
No.
This is Mother Nature's limited edition fruit.
It is indeed.
Welcome.
Limited only in January for just a few short weeks, and when they're gone, and they won't be back until 2016.
Alan was here for one airing, making available. We've got a 5-pound box, we've got 10 pounds, or we've got 15 pounds. If you buy the larger increments, you're going to save money. $13 or up to $28 in savings. You've never tasted citrus this sweet. You've never tasted citrus this juicy. We checked the weather report. It's about 80 degrees back home where you're from.
Yes, it is.
And this has been the perfect year for what are called HoneyBells. Look at that. You notice that there's very little pith. There's very little skin. It is all meat. It is all juice. And this is Mother Nature doing what she does at her very best, but it's a science of people like you and your family that has aided Mother Nature.
Indeed.
What's a HoneyBell?
A HoneyBell is an extraordinary hybrid, a cross between tangerine and grapefruit.
Okay.
On a morning in March, a little bloom appeared on a tree,
Uh-huh.
and then a tiny little fruit about the size of a pencil eraser
Okay.
until January. And this is what was hanging on the tree.
Takes 10 months for a HoneyBell to grow. By the way, you can pluck an orange. You have to hand snip a HoneyBell. They are removed from the tree by hand. There are no added colors to these. This is how Mother Nature makes them. This is our food of the month. Our food of the month for January is something that over the last 13 years people have been looking forward to more so than maybe anything else.
Oh yeah, darn right. We better put on these bibs, which you get 2 of in your HoneyBell box.
We ship these according to weeks. The first ship week is already gone. We have a week that's coming up on the 12th where we can ship them, or the 17th. Look how much juice you get out of a HoneyBell. You are going to make a mess, aren't you?
My mother never let me play with my food, so I have the
This is your
best
chance to make up for it?
I would never do this at home, and neither would you. But it's just a way to show how absolutely juicy HoneyBells are. In fact, just juicier than just about anything.
And the flavor is sweet. Now, you said it's a cross between a tangerine and a breed of grapefruit. And you know this. I'm not a fan of grapefruit.
No.
In fact, I hate grapefruit.
It doesn't taste like grapefruit.
It doesn't taste like grapefruit at all.
And it doesn't taste like tangerines. You know, tangerine you think of as kind of tangy, maybe a little on the sour side. Not HoneyBells. They are so sweet. And Dan, they're early this year, which means they're sweeter at this time right now than they've ever been in years.
Your family's been doing this since
1945.
45. This year has been one of the best years for HoneyBells in recorded history. Now, a HoneyBell itself is such a small fraction of any of the citrus trees in Florida. What are we talking about?
If you threw them in with oranges, which they're not oranges, but if you threw them in with oranges, about 1 in every 200 would be a HoneyBell.
1 out of 200?
Out of 200, yes.
And let me run over here. Let me show them what they're going to get. You can start with, we've got a 5-pound box, and that is the perfect size to take home and enjoy. If you've never had HoneyBells before, that's 5 pounds of HoneyBells. And by the way, again, they come to you. You might find a little bit of green colorization on it. That's what Mother Nature does. And they'll be ready, and you'll have the best you've ever tasted. Then, if you care to, we've got a 10-pound box here. Or we have 15 pounds of HoneyBells. And if you go with the 15-pounder, we're going to give you 3 5-pound boxes, so you can give 1 to a loved one, 1 to a neighbor.
They'll come in a master carton.
And a big master carton.
There's a problem. There's a problem that you're probably going to face if you order some HoneyBells. And if you've ordered them before, you know what I'm
exactly
talking
where
about.
you're headed.
Are you going to really share these?
Yeah.
So that's a decision you'll have to make.
Now, Alan and Alan and QVC have had a relationship for 13 years. He does something that, quite frankly, as a man who grows a commodity, this is insane. It's called auto delivery. We don't know what the cost of gasoline is going to be a year from now. We don't know what the weather will be like in southern Florida a year from now. You can lock these prices in And then we'll ship it to you again next year. It takes 10 months for a HoneyBell to grow. And I'm telling you, you've never tasted anything so sweet.
I have a store-bought orange here.
Okay.
And I just cut it just to kind of show the difference between a HoneyBell and a store-bought orange. You see the difference in the color?
Yep.
And the difference in the rind? This is really a tiny one, but you see the difference? The reason that the skin on the HoneyBell is so small is because it has to be to get all that juice inside. And if you'll let me show you, you can just barely see that that the juice is contained by a tiny little sac.
Yes.
Thousands of them.
You bite into it and it explodes.
And
That's
and
what
it
makes
just takes a little bit of a squeeze.
a HoneyBell. You'll get more juice. It's sweeter, and you know what? I've been a big fan for 12 years in the past. These are even sweeter than I remember. This was
Well,
a perfect growing season for you, wasn't it?
The sunshine, the rainfall was just perfect this year.
Okay.
And it just turned out the most extraordinary crop.
Let's take you
Yeah.
into the groves.
You see him clip that? That's our warehouse. We'll talk about that in a minute. HoneyBells are harvested, packed by hand, and then delivered right to your door.
They come straight from the grove to your kitchen.
And here's the thing. They've never been in a warehouse.
Yep.
They've never been in cold storage. They've never been picked over by anybody.
Right.
And they arrive at your house second day. So it's just as fresh as it possibly could be.
We've got 2 ship dates left. We started with 3. 1 week is already gone. This is such a limited edition fruit from Mother Nature. There's very few groves in Florida that even have these trees. They have to hand graft these trees when they're very young, very immature, and it takes 10 months for a HoneyBell to grow. We give you an opportunity to have it shipped to your home for the week of the 12th of January or the 19th. You order it, they show up, you will be thrilled. It's the taste of summer when we need it most. We're going to go off and say hello to Alice. Alice, you're right here in Pennsylvania, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Have you ever tried a HoneyBell?
Yes.
And
Yes. Yes.
we are preaching to the choir. You can't compare it to an orange, can you?
No. It's the taste is different, and it's so juicy.
Yeah.
So
This is no other orange.
let me ask
or
you something.
HoneyBell, whatever you want to call
Right.
it. It's just wonderful.
Can you describe the flavor of the HoneyBell?
It's that orange taste, but it's more pronounced,
And it's sweeter.
and it's sweeter, and it's
Yeah.
juicier,
Yes.
and it's just I've been waiting. I've been putting on QVC waiting for HoneyBell.
This year, more so than any year in the past, when Alan came to us, and again, I was talking to him earlier today, that was 13 years ago. This poor man, he grows HoneyBells. He's not a TV guy. He was so nervous the first time we were on the air.
I remember that
And people saw them and they responded, but this year, more so than any other, people just like yourself, Alice,
Yes.
when he went on the air the very first time this month, already an entire 1/3 of his crop was spoken for in terms of what we can ship. And you will have yours. Did you go 5, 10, or 15 pounds?
15.
That's the way to do it, because that'll save you the most money. That saves you
Yes.
$15 off what it would normally cost to get HoneyBells.
And last year, I just gave 1 or 2 away to my neighbors who had just been very nice to me,
Yes.
and they loved them. They were on a diet, so that was perfect.
Oh,
that
wow.
fruit.
Yeah, and those neighbors will bug you again this year.
They probably will.
Yeah. Because Alice, when I got up this morning, it was about 27 degrees. If you're here in Pennsylvania, you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, I do.
Alan back home, it was 79 degrees this morning and a
About
beautiful
9:30,
day. So, yeah, it's the taste of summer right now. We'll get them to you. Which one of the 2 ship weeks did you go with? Did you go with the
I think they said the 12th.
The 12.
so you
yeah,
ordered the first
sure.
one because you're impatient, you don't want to wait. I understand
well,
that.
I just ordered, and at first I thought it was the 19th, but either way,
Either way.
I'll take whenever you send it.
We will get them to you quickly, all 15 pounds. By the way, They will arrive at your front door about 2 days after they were snipped from the trees by hand.
That's right.
Oh,
That-
perfect.
Okay?
There's nothing like them.
I agree. Alice and Joy, thank you so very, very
Thank
much.
you.
Thanks, Alex.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Okay, again, pardon me, for the folks just tuning in, what is a HoneyBell? Here, let me get this glass of juice out of your way.
Okay, Dan, a HoneyBell is an extraordinary hybrid, a cross between tangerine and grapefruit.
Okay?
But it doesn't taste like a grapefruit, and it
Doesn't taste like a tangerine.
It's an indescribable flavor that you've never tasted before if you've never tried HoneyBells. If you've tried HoneyBells, you've probably already ordered some, and thank you. And they'll arrive at your door fresh, just as fresh as can be.
2 days after you snip them from the tree, or your folks,
They'll arrive at your door.
they don't have a warehouse. Give me a store-bought orange, Alan.
Okay.
Let's show them that comparison again, because we're talking about more juice, more flavor. They don't artificially change the color. That's important. When you go to the grocery store, so often those colors have been enhanced. You don't have to do that.
I'm going to
with
squeeze
a
this.
HoneyBell.
Oh, dear.
That's a store-bought orange.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
And I'm having trouble getting any juice
not a
out
lot of
it.
juice. Now,
Okay.
squeeze half a HoneyBell and watch what happens. Got another glass? Now, by the way, you're going to see a lot more juice in the glass. You're also going to see 2 spots that hit me in the left eye and the back wall. Continued success. You bring us happiness, my friend. It is a pleasure to have you here.
Oh,
Alec, yeah, we just shook hands. These, we have 5-pound, 10-pound, or 15-pound boxes. We can ship them either on the